Hello, everybody, and welcome to Feel Good Friday at Church at Home with Rachel. Today, I'm not going to sort of tell something funny or lighthearted about Feel Good Friday. I want to talk about more of like how to feel good on Friday or any other day of the week. And I'm talking about something that might be a little bit contentious, maybe not for our regular viewers, but for some others, and that's okay. Remember, I talked about confrontation yesterday? Well, I had a confrontation with a Pfizer vaccine. I am recording this for Friday on Thursday night, and it's been a rough day. This is the most I've spoken all day because I went on Wednesday evening to make sure that I would feel good on Friday. I got my flu shot and I got my booster for my COVID vaccine. And I thought I'd be clever and get the Pfizer vaccine because the Moderna knocks me on my butt, and Pfizer didn't last time. Well, Pfizer had got the best of me, and guess what? Today has been a not so feel good day. But that's okay. There are times in our lives when we have to bear a little pain for a lot of gain. And in my mind, that's exactly what things like our vaccinations are for. My arm kills me. I got both shots in the same arm. I don't think I'll do that again in the future. But I got both shots in the same arm, so I'm having trouble laying on my left side. My whole body hurts. Every muscle I have aches, and every joint I have aches. And Tylenol just ain't cutting it today. But what's helping me is knowing that by tomorrow I'll be feeling a lot better, and all the work that didn't get done today will get done tomorrow and Saturday in preparation for Sunday's baptisms. But also, I feel good because I know that number one, the chances of me getting the flu or COVID in this upcoming winter season are much slimmer. And I have seen how, even for people who don't have any complications, just getting the flu or COVID for a few days knocks them on their butt. And with my schedule, I don't have time to be sick. So taking one day instead of many to be proactive instead of reactive is not a bad idea. The other thing about me getting my vaccinations, my boosters, is that I have less of a chance of infecting someone else. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to pick up the germs, but it means that I'm less likely to pick up the germs in such a way that I'm going to pass them on to somebody else. That I'm not going to develop them so badly in my own system that if I breathe on or cough on or shake somebody's hand, they're going to pick it up. And the reality is, in my job as a priest, I work with older people. I work with people who are vulnerable in their health. They have their immune systems are often taxed harder than the average person. And that means that I absolutely have to take care of myself so that I can take care of them. Also, for some aspects of my job, I can't do my job unless I've had my COVID shot and my flu shot. I can't go into the hospital. I'm not allowed to go into the nursing homes and the retirement homes and long-term care homes if I haven't done that. And it's got nothing really to do about them wanting me to be healthy and everything to do with them wanting me to make sure I don't infect their clients, their residents. And that makes complete sense. I am still baffled by the number of people who are angry and suspicious in this last 5 years about vaccinations. I remember as a kid going in grade 1 to get some shots. I think it was my measles, mumps, and rubella. I remember in grade 3 going and getting something that they, instead of giving it to us through a needle, they put it all over a cube of sugar, and we had to suck on the sugar. I guess they thought everybody think that was great. It was the most disgusting thing ever. I'd rather take the jab than suck on a cube of sugar. It was awful. I remember moving from Listowel to Hanover and getting there and realizing they didn't know what my immune or my vaccination record was, so they had to call my mom at home to find out if I'd had the updates, the boosters, because they were doing that for the grade 6s. It was time for grade 5s and 6s. It was time for us to march down to the nurse's office back when there were such things in schools and get the jab. They weren't necessarily kind. These days, they're so quick and efficient at it, you don't even feel it. Then it was more like they were coming at you with an anvil and hammer. But the fact is, no one questioned it. My mom is a nurse, and of course, she didn't have any problem with it. And other people, if they did, they certainly didn't say anything. We had a few people who were from Jehovah's Witness and Mormons and things like that who may have had an issue, but their family just told them they weren't allowed to take it, and they just stayed in the classroom. We didn't even really notice. that somebody else wasn't participating in the jab line. But the fact is that none of us died. None of us got German measles. None of us got measles, mumps, or rubella when we were in school. And now there is a whole raft of people who are not getting measles shots and their vaccinations, and people are getting measles again. If they say that polio is on the rise, polio, there's no reason for that. If we look at the science, honestly look at the science, we recognize that taking our vaccinations, receiving our vaccinations, helps to keep our whole society healthy. And for those people who are really, very anxious about money and the economy and making sure that people, we're not living in a social welfare state and we're not helping people too much. If people end up in the hospital, then we're helping people. Like, you can't turn them away. And if people don't have to end up in the hospital because they have their vaccinations, that actually, in the long run, actually costs less money to the state. So if everything's about the economy, it actually makes sense to have people take vaccinations, not to rail against them. The fact is that people died in COVID. People have gotten very, very sick and had complications that were unheard of before because of the COVID virus, the coronavirus. And if there are ways that we can help people from getting sick, then why wouldn't we? Rob had his vaccination, and we're not sure, but there's a possibility that his congestive heart failure might have been kicked in because he got COVID. COVID, the virus or the vaccination doesn't stop you. It's not a failsafe. It doesn't build a plastic bubble around you where you absolutely won't get sick. It just helps to mitigate the sickness. I think I've had COVID. I didn't test. A couple of years ago, did a funeral, an outdoor funeral, and got a phone call 2 days later that everybody there who'd been there had called the widow and said, yeah, we're really sick. They're from across the country. And she called me to tell me, and I had flu-like symptoms. At that point, I hadn't seen any other parishioners. I hadn't been around anybody else, so I just laid low. Had a fever, couldn't think, slept a lot, drank a lot of fluids, got through it. Nothing long-lasting. But you never know. What would have happened if I'd not had my booster? I had not had the COVID vaccination. I might not have done as well as I did because I am diabetic. There are other factors to be thought of. But one thing we need to do is really stop worrying about so much about conspiracy theories and thinking about all about me, 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 me. And we need to start singing a new tune that sings about us, 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 us. If I take my shots on Wednesday night and on Thursday I feel like absolute crap, I feel like I've had the worst hangover ever. My body hurts. I feel like I got hit by a bus. But on Friday, I wake up and I'm feeling much better. And I know that I'm not going to make anybody else sick because I took the 2 jabs and I survived. I feel much better about that. To me, that is a feel-good Friday. When I wake up and know I'm not going to cause someone else to get sick. We need to do our part. We need to take care of one another. And one of the really simple ways we can do that is by taking care of our own health, getting our MMR, our measles, mumps, and rubella shots, getting the Shingrix if you're old enough and you can afford it to get. I believe that is the shingles vaccination. Get your pneumonia shot if you can afford it, and you're of age. These are all things that will help you to stay healthy. And if you're healthy, then you can help to keep other people healthy as well. So if you haven't already gotten your flu shot and you haven't already gotten your booster for your for the COVID virus, please go out and do so. And then give yourself permission to take a day off work. A day when you can just know that you're going to be wanting to drink hot lemon tea and curled up in a blanket, sitting on a chair watching Netflix or something. But know that by doing that and giving yourself that one day to recuperate and to feel better, the short-term pain will bring you and others long-term gain. So I know I'm going to have a feel-good Friday because on Friday, when you see this, I will be feeling much better and more able to write a sermon and do bulletins and all the work that didn't get done on Thursday. But I also know that when I go to do the baptisms on Sunday, I'm not going to pass on something to those young ladies that I don't want to pass on. So have a wonderful day. God bless you. And I will see you on Sunday for Gospel on the Go, either on the Gospel on the Go channel or at Church at Home with Rachel. If you haven't, please subscribe to one or both of those channels and hit notifications, and they'll pop right into your notifications at 5 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time, 7 o'clock Eastern. And if I don't see you for Gospel on the Go, I will see you on Monday for Church at Home with Rachel. God bless everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Make sure you do everything you need to do so that you can remain feeling good.